Okay, this is the series of report everything that I see so I don't forget. I'm going to go back to the Mayan calendar or use the Mayan thing in my head, and I want to show you something. That there's a two-tier number system. There's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It doesn't work that way in reality. In reality, 1, 5, 3, and 9 all play out of here. But when you get 2 times 3, it goes here. When you get 3 times 3, it goes here. When you get 2 by 10, 2 by 5, it remains in the same spot. When you get 2 by 9 is 18, 1 and 8 is 9. When you get 2 by 1, it's over here. It already shows. So everything gets played from over here, inside here. 1, 3, 5, 9. Because the 3 is the 3 worlds of the 5 area, of the 5 areas and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Just to compensate, to show you that when you create this design, 2 and 4 on the outside, 2 and 4 on the outside. Forget about 8, forget about 6, forget about all the other numbers except for the numbers I show you, okay? There's a reasoning for it, and it works, whether it's wrong or not in the total association. 2 and 4 is 6, 2 and 4 is 6. Now, 2 and 4 is 6, or 2 and 4 is 6, okay? This is plain 1/7 is missing out of this. There's 8 areas, and 1/7 is being used. And they're taking 7 out of 8. We're getting 1 out of 8. But you have to remember that when this all started, 1 was missing to begin with. So everything has to start at 2, because the first one was already here. The first one came up the center. It was the plug. Plug plugs into here and here, here and here. 2 different levels. 4 by 4 is 16. 4 plus 4 is 8, 24. 2 by 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4 is 8, 32. That is the entry key. Now we go. We put in here. Here we put in number 1. Here we put in number 3. Here we put in number 7. And then here we put in number 9. Okay? Again. We put this in for the first time. This is new. Why? Because this is the 7th gate between here and here. Because everything is now lived in here. Okay? This is where the whole thing is. And it's cut off, and there's only 1/4. I have a design showing that we live between Mercury or Neptune and Pluto. Pluto is the orange dog, the orange sun. Anyways, let's go on to this. When you take 4, there are 4 numbers that went into here. 4 numbers made the core. Okay? I'm not going to add up the 4 numbers. 1. I'm not going to count 1 because you can't multiply it. It doesn't become its own zone. 3 numbers. Any 3 numbers with 1 in it. Any 3 numbers with 1 in it. Okay? Any 3 numbers with 1 or 0, okay, you cannot multiple to make a new zone. 142, for example, 1 times 4 is 4, times 2 is 8. You didn't leave the zone. It had to be a minimum of anything that doesn't repeat, 4 different numbers, because that's what the zone is. It's made up of 4 different numbers. Okay? One of them is a center number. It owns its own division. That number has to be multiplied to understand how to own it. We're going on slowly. When I say the zone here, what happens to this zone is this is the pinpoint center, the backbone of everything. You want to find its 360 degrees. So you take it from its center here and you move its center down top, middle, bottom. Now you move its bottom one down 1 row. The top becomes the center becomes this one, boom. Now you go up 1, 2 to the top row, and you find that it's up and it's down is over here. Now you turn it all around in each direction, 45 and 90, and that is your marking. You put a box on the outside of a rim, and you live inside that rim. This is how you create the 0 inside 101, because their 101 is your boundaries, what you can do inside. When you take that marble and shake this whole thing around the marble, it's what this box can do with the pin over here, how the horseshoe swings around the pin. So here's how we're going to do it. 4 times 360 equals to 1440. The 1 time in the middle, equals 360 because there's nothing around it. Nothing around it. The 4 times 360 is because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 around the center here. 90 degrees each one. 90, 90, 90, 90 times 4 equals 360, telling you that 5 equals to 360 because it's split up 1 1/4, 1 1/4, 1 1/4, 1.25. 1.25 times 288 equals 720 plus 288 or 360 degrees. One time around. 24, 24, 24, 24, 24. 3 days is 72, is 2 times this. This has to again go up another level to 1440, okay, to match the first level. What I'm trying to do is, how can I explain this? I wish I can explain this. 1440, this becomes 1800. 5 times 360, or just the 360 itself. In its own, the value of this dot, over here is 360 times 5. It's 1800, that dot. Those dots split apart. They're worth 5 and 5 to 90 and 90. They're worth 450. Okay? 450 each. 900, right? 180, 180. Okay? But they cut the center out. So you now have to divide between this side and that side and the center. Area space used. How do you use it? You use it from inside this corner. Well, this corner will only measure out to the center. You'll measure out to the center. Then you calculate for area space. So the evaluated dot value is 5 for every time you see one of these. So this one is 5, and this one is 5, making this one 10. So because this is 10, it makes this one 10 and 10, 2 different worlds. Now it's worth a total of 20. So once this one dot of 5 gets into here, you go 5 and 5 is 10 onto the 20, equaling to a total of 30. 20, first of all, equals to the total of 5 for the first one, which equals to the jack plug-in, 25, 20 plus the 0, because the 0 equals 6, equals to 31, the AT transmission, in the left, middle, or right house. Because it's either you use these two, or these two, or these two, or these two. This block has to be pushed to a center of play. This becomes the zone of the home. You push it to this corner, this corner, this corner, or this corner. Okay? So now, what we're going to do is 25,920 of the MICHEAL reduces down to 4 times, the same 4 we used here, to 1296, which reduces down to 648, which reduces down to 18 by 18. 9 days and 9 days, 9 of the MICHEAL days, and 9 of the MICHEAL days, plus 2 days of sleep, 48 for reconnecting of the system, equals 240 days. 216, 9 days plus 24 is 240. But we are being hijacked. We're losing. It's 25 hours in a day, and it's not 24. There's 25 hours in a day, not 24. This here, the pin, that counts for its hour itself. Okay? Because inside a real block, if you calculate it, it's 160 degrees. 8 times 20, 160 degrees. This would take up inside of a day, using up 1 hour of every single day just to turn time. So if we think we're living in 4 hours a day, it's 25 hours a day. Everything is by the 5s. They didn't chip anything off. You know that? When they put stuff out here, you live for all the time. So that MICHEAL count, okay, is because 216, okay, 25,920 divided by 216 equals 120. 25,920 divided by 216 is 120. Add up the 20 darts, it equals to 210. Add up Valentine's, it equals to 201, which is 261, which is Saturn to Saturn. Okay? 216 and 216 is the dividable 2 worlds, is 432 true vibration. 18 by 18 is 324, okay? Which is the 2 sides of the strand, the 36 and 36. Why do I say that? One on this side and one on this side. 36 and 36, 72. 72 times 5, 360 degrees. 72 times 5, 360 degrees, times 4, 1,400 minutes to equal to 1 day. Man was made in 6 days. Okay? 4 days and 2 days. 4 days and 2 days, 1,440 minutes times the 4 days equals to man, 5760 plus the 15 for the egg. Whoop. 1440 times 4 equals to 5760 plus 15 for the egg, right? What is the egg? It's A and E saying, hold on to the rope. They're all inside. Hang on to the rope. If you leave go of the rope, they all fall down. So 1 and 5, they're the outside of the rope. They're the 2 on the outside. And then there's 4 on the outside. And once you got 8, there's 1 on the inside. You got 4 on the inside, 4 on the outside. They can all hold on 2 sides of the world. Add it to 15 equals 5775 George. Because George is a circle. The only way to get George is this. It's the 15th letter and the 18th letter. 555, 666. 1.25, 216. 216 and 1.25 is 341. The ACD power. Hook me up, Jack. Put me in. Let's sing one more song. We'll keep this one short, but we're going to roll along and go back to this one day. All you have to do is ask if it makes any sense at all. But for me, it's you know what? I'm rocking the boat in the explanation, and I always keep on with this, but I know I'm seeing the right vision. I know there's dolphins before me. I know there's dolphins before me, but guess what? I have flowers. I have flowers and trees and figs. They're all over the place. Flowers and trees and figs. And you know what? They're all in my head. And if you were here, I'd offer you a brew. I'd offer you a cold one. But in my head, as long as I have my own flower, I wish everybody should have their own flower for the hour. Make it, mark it, make it number 10, upside down. 10 is 7. 2 and 7 is all it should be. There shouldn't be anything else. There shouldn't be any 1. Nothing should exist until 3, other than who he was before it began, the only one of the creator of the system. Oh my golly gee. Right on, baby. Plug me up.